Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. The rivalry between Shanks and Dracula Mihawk is one of the most legendary and intriguing in the story of One Piece. Now both are renowned as two of the most powerful swordsmen in the world, with extraordinary sword fighting skills and a history of epic duels that has fans of the series eager to see more as well as get more information about their rivalry. So to understand the depth of the rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk, in today's video we're going to talk about the relationship between these two powerful characters and what was the great impact that they both had on our story. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it continues to motivate us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, as we know, Shanks is a charismatic and captivating character in the world of One Piece, recognized for his red hair as well as his incredible mastery with sword, and he's probably one of the greatest hockey users currently in the story. Now he began his pirate journey as a member of the crew of Goldie Roger, the legendary pirate king, and this experience gave Shanks a unique insight into the world and treasure known as One Piece. After leaving Roger's crew, Shanks formed his own red-haired pirates, who quickly became one of the most respected and feared crews on the seas. Now his leadership is marked by benevolent principles and a strong sense of honors, which are values that he shares with his former captain, Roger. Throughout his journey as a pirate, Shanks has undoubtedly encountered multiple extremely powerful enemies: pirates, marines, and even pirate hunters. However, only one enemy ever marked Shanks' career so much, someone who is currently recognized as the greatest swordsman in the world. Dracula Mihawk, also known as Hawkeye's Mihawk, is a mysterious and imposing character, and he's notorious for his unique hawk-like eyes, and above all, his legendary skills with a sword. Now, Mihawk resides on Kurigata Island, which is an isolated island in the Grand Line, where his mansion serves as a sanctuary for swordsmen who wish to challenge him. Now, it is Mihawk who currently holds the title of greatest swordsman in the world, a recognition of his unparalleled prowess with the blade. Now, his black sword, Yoru, is one of the 12 supreme grade swords of the world, making it an exceptionally powerful weapon. In the past, Shanks and Mihawk were both considered the most powerful swordsmen of their era, being great rivals who competed for the title of greatest swordsman in the world, a title in which only one of these two pirates was worthy of attaining. While competing for this moniker, Shanks lost his arm to save his friend Luffy, and this is something that caused Shanks' destiny to change completely. But no longer having possession of his dominant arm, Shanks completely lost his ability to use his high mastery with swords, having to relearn how to use the sword again, but this time with his right arm. This ended up being a pivotal moment in his history, and especially with his rivalry with Mihawk, because due to the loss of his arm, this meant that Shanks was no longer able to compete for the title of greatest swordsman in the world, and this led his goals to change. Now, not only did the loss of his arm deeply impact Shanks personally, it also directly influenced the evolving rivalry between him and Mihawk, because Shanks was unable to completely match Mihawk in terms of sword skills, due mostly to his physical disability and just needing practice time with his right arm. But it actually made this rivalry much more fascinating. From that moment on, the battle to become the greatest swordsman in the world between Shanks and Mihawk ended, leaving only the great respect and a certain rivalry for still being pirates. You see, the loss of Shanks' arm was an event of great significance in his history and in his rivalry. The loss had profound implications and several layers within the work of One Piece. After losing his arm, Shanks began to focus on his duties as a pirate, and years later, after once again achieving that great mastery of the sword through his right arm, he managed to become a Yonko, a title that even surpasses Mihawk's, making Shanks one of the most powerful and feared pirates in the entire world. This moment also marked a change in his life, where he abandoned the search for the One Piece treasure and started focusing on maintaining stability and balance in the pirate world. So his physical loss served as a constant reminder of his choices as well as his responsibilities. So the rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk further evolved and was less of a competition for the title and something deeper and more complex. And although the title chase was ended due to the loss of Shanks' arm, there is still a mutual admiration and respect between these two unshakable personalities. Something else to consider is that the loss of Shanks' arm did not weaken his determination or his courage, but rather it strengthened his character as well as his leadership abilities. He became one of the Yonko, one of the 4 most powerful pirates in the world, and continued to be an influential figure over the seas. And his mission, although although changed from being the greatest swordsman to protecting his friends and his crew, and ultimately the balance of the pirate world. As for Mihawk, although he has maintained that title of greatest swordsman in the world, he still went through other changes in his life. And the rivalry with Shanks was a fundamental part of his identity as a swordsman. The loss of that element of competition led him to seek challenges elsewhere. He remained on Kuragana Island, waiting for the day when someone worthy would challenge him. But he also developed a relationship of respect and perhaps even friendship with Shanks, although this dynamic remains still shrouded in mystery. Furthermore, the rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk raises fascinating questions about the world of One Piece and the nature of the characters that inhabit it, because both are extraordinary examples of individuals, with each having their own vision about what it means to be powerful and influential. Shanks overall represents a form of power that goes far beyond brute force. He embodies the idea that true power lies not only in the ability to defeat enemies, but also in the ability to influence and inspire friends. His principles of honor, friendship, and responsibility are admired by many, and his charismatic leadership has earned him respect of pirates and even members of the Navy. Now, on the other hand, Mihawk personifies technical mastery and the relentless pursuit of perfection in his art. His swordsmanship is legendary, and he's driven by the pursuit of excellence as a swordsman, and his dedication to the art makes him a complex character, someone who seeks greatness through personal improvement. These two contrasting approaches to power and influence contribute to the depth of the rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk, because while Shanks seeks power through human connections and moral principle, Mihawk seeks power through individual excellence and constant improvement. Now, Shanks and Mihawk are arguably two of the best swordsmen even currently in the world of One Piece. Their duels would be a spectacular mastery of the art of the sword, with techniques and skills that challenge the imagination. Thus, this rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk is not just about who's the better swordsman, but rather about two divergent views on power and excellence. Shanks being that strength from connecting with others, and Mihawk seeking greatness for himself. These different approaches to power create a rich and complex dynamic between these two characters. Now, although the loss of Shanks' arm was something that causes Shanks' goal to change, this made him actually aim for an even higher level than just becoming greatest swordsman in the world, and thus probably is the reason why he's now currently one of the 4 emperors of the sea. This ultimately means that Shanks is always striving for something else, and many in the community have really speculated that there's more to this red-haired captain than just stability in the world. Now, if you think about Mihawk has maintained his title as greatest swordsman in the world. However, he still has a gap and a lack of fulfillment in his life, because when you're at the top of your game, you are no longer striving for that next level. In fact, you're really waiting on someone to come for you and push you to that next level. And this may be one of the reasons why Mihawk saw something special in Zoro, because he finally met someone who might be able to push him beyond where he already was. As we go deeper into this final saga of One Piece, we hope that there will be revelations and duels that are shown, even if they're from the past, between Shanks and Mihawk, because these would be standout moments in the series. Not just because of the level and epicness of the fights, but because of the implications they have for the plot, how they shape their character development, and ultimately how they would influence future events in the One Piece story. So this rivalry between Shanks and Mihawk is one of the most captivating and interesting narratives, because it's not just a story of power, but rather of friendship and respect and how those things evolve over time. And although the details of confrontations remain secret and the mystery surrounding them only increases that fascination with this rivalry, the outcome could actually come to the page very soon in our story. So what's left for us to do is to wait and see when Oda-sensei reveals all of this wonderful past between these two amazing characters. So with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. What would be some of the moments you'd love to see between Shanks and Mihawk? And when do you think this rivalry actually kicked off? Was it before we saw them in Logtown at Roger's execution? Or was it much later and something more random that happened? Next, how would you like to see this past revealed? Could it be through flashbacks once we run into Shanks on Elbaf? Or perhaps something that Mihawk does while he's thinking about all of his cross-guild work with Crocodile and Buggy? And also, how do you see these two great swordsmen coming together in this final saga? Could they have one more duel to settle the odds? Or is it just too late? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video for the day, we'd like to thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who've made it here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.